Yeah, this is a continuation of what I had going on yesterday. So I just wanted to finish up with that and leave y'all with that so I can give y'all the new fresh news that's going on too. Cause so much going on. So yeah, let me get up in the mic. Y'all can make sure y'all hear me. But yeah, let me go ahead and switch this on over. You got the theatrics, the global theatrics going on. There's so much crazy stuff going on, but we know we're on a higher vibration. We're doing other things. We're doing bigger and better things. No more getting caught up in the nonsense, getting scared. Really try to scare us. Even when we look at things like this.
U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin has announced that he's ordered ships and submarines.
Fair use, YouTube. Fair use.
To the Middle East. According to the Department of Defense, Secretary Austin ordered the USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft's carrier strike group to be added to defense operations there. He also sent the USS Georgia, a nuclear-powered guided missile submarine. Secretary Austin spoke with the Israeli Minister of Defense yesterday, and the Pentagon press secretary reiterated the United States' commitment to defending Israel. The two leaders also discussed the importance of mitigating civilian harm, progress toward a ceasefire, and the release of hostages held in Gaza. Their conversation came one day after Palestinian officials say an Israeli airstrike on a school in Gaza killed at least 80 people.
That's how you know Biden is like the kingpin of some bigger mafia-ish going on right now, because for that to be going on and be amplified and still be on the radar as far as conversation like that, yeah, it's only a part of this administrative crime syndicate. So all praise to the Most High. We ain't involved in none of this. We are not tripping on none of this. It's just what we gotta be aware of. Is take it and use it and move on to the next. That's the one thing you don't want to do.
The black community, we have a violence issue. I believe the white man's violence will be more extreme.
Okay.
Because the thing is, black people have been suffering. It is what it is. We've been suffering for the longest. Mm-hmm. So despite there's violence, there's a coping mechanism built into black life because you grew up in a certain environment. Mm-hmm. And the issue I'm observing firsthand with white people, specifically white males, they don't have coping mechanisms for stress fire. Mm-hmm. Like they really fly off the handle when they really get that pressure. And that's like my biggest concern.
Yes, that is very true.
Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, okay. So how are we defining violence? Because violence takes on various forms. You have physical violence, you have psychological violence, you have political violence, and all those
violence towards themselves. And
violence towards themselves. It takes various forms.
That's what I've been seeing a lot: the self-destruction, like violence towards themselves, destroying themselves.
Yeah. But that again is the despair again, because again, the drinking, the drugs, of course, suicide is all self-harm, self-destruction. That's becoming more prevalent too. But the other thing is like so. It's the turn towards violence, and the other thing we have to consider is are there mechanisms in the society to kind of allay or kind of lessen this violence? And that's another thing that we really don't have in our society as well, because for whatever reason, for whether good or bad, everybody's not going to pick up the phone and call the psychotherapist. Nobody's going to call, pick up the phone and call some kind of local clergy person to help them deal with their issues. What's in a society to help to make this violence?
I want my people to understand. There was a pile of trauma piled up on every single one of us. Every generation had to go through a whole pile of trauma.
Or kind of lessen the effect of this violence, and we don't have those things in place as well either. This kind of gets to the wider social networks that we used to have to kind of keep people in check, to make people feel a sense of self-worth, to make people feel that they're valued. Family networks, kinship networks, other social networks. It goes back to the jobs again. The kind of friendships and social relationships that are formed on jobs are not available like they used to. For instance, if you're now the gig economy is big now. So if you're doing deliveries or if you're driving for Uber, those kind of jobs, those are very isolating jobs. There's not a lot of social networks that you can form in these jobs. That's a lot of stuff that people are doing now just to pay the.
That's a lie. You can definitely make a network. Your network is your net worth. Public speaking is the number one fear. Some people just don't know how to talk and network. But that is not a hindrance. He's incorrect on that part.
Bill. So it's kind of it's so ingrained in our society now, the isolation, the lack of community, that those are kind of things that used to keep people kind of tempered down and kind of cool the tensions that we feel now that aren't available anymore.
Is this just like the natural course of capitalism taking its course? Because capitalism really, it seems
a certain kind of capitalism.
It just seems because it's like it really promotes this individuality in regards to all you need is your material things, all you need is money, you don't need anyone else. And I think that's the ideology. But now it's even harder now because you have to work harder to survive. So you're even more isolated.
Well, I mean, is working harder to survive and what you're making isn't enough. So the jobs you have to do, how much.
He is right about that. Be working your ass off on these jobs and they don't want to pay you, and they never will try to pay you, regardless of how much you negotiate and bargain and get your masters and PhDs. You're always going to be treated how they want to treat you unless you create your own.
You have to work. The fact that you're making this job, you're not going to meet the needs that you want to meet. You're not going to be, right now, simple things like you can't rent now in this country is exploding. The ability to buy a house now is almost impossible in certain locales. Paying for college tuition is impossible. Those days
we
are
on
done.
food. We're not even getting.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just talking about like things that people used to do. You used to work hard. I work Monday to Friday. I work my 40 hours. Bills are going to get paid. Mortgage is going to get paid. We could take a little vacation this summer. Those days are done now if you're just working, right?
What does that mean for the long term of the country?
The long term is not good. It's not good at all.
Well, there's a difference. A lot of that stuff was very hard and impossible to have to do all day, every day. And we put through it. We went through it. Picked ourselves up by the bootstraps. If it was a complaint, it was under our breath because we know there ain't no stopping, ain't no quitting, ain't no giving up, ain't no I'm tired. And if you said it, you kept it to yourself. And if you said it out loud, you found yourself very alone because nobody wanted to be around you or that energy. So take notes on that. What you think and what you speak, so shall it be. If you're going to say you're going to get out of something, get out of it. Do something about it. Use your imagination. You have a strong one, you have a good one. Use your ingenuity. Be creative. Don't overcomplicate it. Keep it simple.
At all. And that leads to, again, political instability, which we see now in this country greatly. Like the political parties that we have now. And of course, I'm not going to name names, but one side is branded as being more extreme in a lot of ways.
Both sides, sir.
Is another, right? What's the attraction to that? Promises of returning the country to past glory, which can happen, but it does.
Because the blessing is over.
Foment a hope that people have that maybe if I do believe in this person or what they're preaching or what they're telling me, things will go back to the good old days.
Grown alpha men are not in those churches anymore. They've pacified and confiscated and cut off members of masculinity.
And it's impossible. It can't go back. for a lot of reasons. Economic reasons, number one. Those jobs, again, that used to provide a sense of comfort for people are not coming back. It's just an impossibility. And we're not even getting on. And this is going to take off topic a little bit, but some of these conversations we're having about the state of white men and the state of the country overall, there are larger issues that are going to affect us economically that many people don't talk about. For instance, well, some do, but they don't talk about enough, like the rise of AI, the current state of the environment. What's that?
AI ain't got nothing to do with your damn work ethic. Who are you outside of your badge? If your car is dirty, most likely your house is dirty. Most likely your job is dirty. Inside of your body is dirty.
It's going to do in terms of employment and migration, mass migration.
Hustle beats talent when talent doesn't hustle. All men and women are created equal. Some just work harder in preseason. Some actually get up at 3:33 in the morning and actually grind. I'm one of them. Excuses make you useless. Quitters never win, and winners never quit. Who are you when you look at yourself in the mirror? If you even see yourself, what are you looking at? Is that the real you? Who are you? If that's not you, what are you going to do about it? Go find yourself. Complaining is not the way to be maintaining and blaming.
Technology, healthcare. I mean, the diseases that will come upon us soon due to all that's going on is going to completely destabilize a lot of things. It's frightening, but those are the real serious
We've all had to duck and dodge all of these crazy things that this white supremacist system has thrown at us. We have been in Russian roulette for 400 plus years. We have been the greatest Neo out of Matrix of all time, ducking and dodging bullets. Mr. Anderson.
conversations that we're not having. I mean, automation, for instance. You have people now in this country, small restaurants automating services where people, they don't need people anymore. Automated transportation that's starting to be tested in this country. What is that going to do to the economy? And that's not.
It's not going to do nothing. Consumerism. People are always going to be in demand of a product or service. That is the way it goes. Somebody needs and somebody has.
That's not, you're not turning back once that stuff gets implemented, unfortunately.
It seems like people are in denial about AI for some reason. It seems
Because
like
it's frightening. It's not a comfortable conversation.
We don't want to acknowledge, like, bro, this thing
No,
is
it
already.
and this thing, it's advancing so fast.
AI is a tool no different from a screwdriver or a butter knife
And
or your dollar.
you can see videos right now on YouTube of automated, like, humanoid robots.
It can be good or it can be bad. You choose.
The motions that they're making, what they're able to do. And these are the early stages. What this stuff will look like in 5 and 10 years, we have no clue.
And you know what? The fuel behind it, though, is that profit, because it's just everything's tied up. Because as a person wants to increase his profits, he's going to lean more on
Yes,
AI.
because more reliable.
And just to stay competitive in a particular industry,
And
he's
mass
gonna lean
production
more on
reliable,
AI.
yes. But what does it do in terms of the common man who needs to work wherever to get a job? That is done, it's over. And again, what we'll be doing in terms of the mass of people who won't be employable anymore, it's going to be a huge problem.
It's going to be, unfortunately, a certain group of people who are going to be unemployed because They have lived generations on privilege and entitlement, egotism, narcissism, nepotism, many of those. I'm saying that because they're going to be a permanent underclass. There's a lot of things that you did wrong. For every action, there's a reaction, and karma is a bitch, and she's coming to collect her rent from y'all. I was drawn by the title of it, and I understood, and I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense, because that's what I see. I hear a lot of white men complain. Y'all complain and complain so much. Just looking at the title, I was just like, okay, yeah. White men then face struggles long endured by black men and can't handle it. I mean, that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm hearing. We never had to complain about work. We had to work. If we had a gripe about anything, it's the treatment, but work is work. We know how to do work because we've had to work for free. So, and those back payments are being requested for expeditiously now at this point. But seeing the unemployment aspect of a lot of people not working, not developing any skills, they rather play video games. That's all I hear a conversation about is video games. So be it. Everybody has their choice and preference. But when it comes to the actual infrastructure and how things actually run in society, you have a lot of men who are choosing to just sit and stew and not be productive, not even educate yourself. You are insufficient. You suck. If you're just going to sit there and lay down and not do anything with yourself, what are you doing? Brothers and sisters, you've never had the time to sit there and be chilling. This is an all day, every day, sun up to sun up, every day, constant grind. Survival is at the utmost apex. And it is very necessary that you all understand that you are needed and your contributions within the scheme of the universe must be considered and taken into account. You must take it into account. James Brown said, if you don't work, you don't eat. Amen.
47-year-old Aaron Karp made his first court appearance Friday, facing one count of murder. Portland police say he shot and killed 54-year-old Susan McHugh last Tuesday night in a parking lot near Morrill's Corner.
I can say that from what I know,
Maine is active. Somebody popped it up there.
about the investigation,
They really are ashamed of having to report these type of circumstances. He's stressed out. He's just a ball of melting glue.
we certainly are looking forward to having a trial and getting our day in court.
A Facebook page that appears to be Karp's shows he's connected to the Outlaws Motorcycle Club. Business records obtained by the I-Team also show Karp owns the Almost Famous tattoo shop, which is just across the street from where the shooting happened.
Ooh, y'all so angry. What's wrong with y'all? Y'all so angry.
Well, it's my understanding the tattoo shop is going to remain open. And just to be clear, Mr. Mr. Karp did not run. He was not wanted or had any warrant for him until yesterday, and he voluntarily turned himself into the police.
In surveillance footage from that night, multiple shots are heard being fired. The scene centered around the parking lot of a mechanic shop on Forest Avenue. In all, police say 3 people were injured and Susan McHugh was killed. Portland police have refused to release.
Just the energy and the vibe. I just wanted to see that dude's eyes. Yeah. It's like way at the beginning. Hey. How much time did he get?
Last week, Portland police searched the tattoo shop we now know is connected to Karp. Investigators have also searched a home up in Gray multiple times over the past week as well. How that's related, though, still unclear. In the meantime, Karp is being held without bail until his next court appearance, which is expected in 2 weeks. For the I-Team,
Find out soon.
In Franklin County, a former high school basketball coach is behind bars facing multiple charges for child sex crimes.
Just back at school.
Multiple charges.
Look at Doofus weirdo. I'm telling you. Gotta watch these folks. Look. All the numbers. Jonathan Moore facing multiple charges for some child sex. Man, it's just crazy. You don't know what's going on when you are not at home. You do not know what's going on when you are not around. You got weird people like this looking at your daughters and your sons doing disgusting things. These wild crimes. These people are your teachers, your basketball coaches, people that's supposed to be your confidants while you go off to school. You know, your parents is all trying to just get rid of you, so they just happy to get rid of you and go to school. And, you know, and then when something happened, they don't ever want to listen to you because they was wind off doing something they wasn't supposed to be doing if they wasn't working. You know, so.
Unlawful transaction with a minor and first-degree sexual abuse. Court records say the offenses happened last year. Moore's LinkedIn account shows he was employed at Franklin County High School at the time.
If something happened to you, speak up.
KHSAA records show he also served as the high school boys basketball coach from 2021 to 2023. Moore is being held in Franklin County Regional Jail on a $250,000 bond. His arraignment is scheduled for Friday.
You never know, folks.
Massachusetts is on pace to file a record number of deportation cases this year.
Department of Homeland Security said the state has filed more than 44,000 new cases in the first 9 months of the federal fiscal year. Joe Cortez live right now with more on how this compares to previous years. Joe.
Be all in your business now, just so active.
Well, good morning, Patrick and Kate. According to the Immigration Research Centers, that they're going to reach they're estimating reaching 59,000 cases by the end of the federal fiscal year, and that is approaching at September 30th. That would make the largest number of filings in Massachusetts state history since 2001. Now, on top of that, looking at the research, they're saying that there is 300% more increases in cases, 300% increase in cases at the U.S. immigration courts over the last 5 years. Now, hundreds of thousands of migrants, they've entered the U.S. through parole programs, but those only give temporary federal authorization for them to stay while they could still face a deportation case down the line. Sarah Sherman Stokes is with the Immigrants' Rights and Human Trafficking Program at BU. She said that she's not surprised about the cases going up, and there's a major backlog of over 150,000 cases in the courts, creating much uncertainty that many migrants are facing.
Many of the migrants in Massachusetts are claiming.
And I see so many people in the country now.
John Reed has been looking over the guidance from the state that was only released Tuesday night.
It's very aggravating as a business owner
He's
seeing this law and the way it's written and what we're supposed to do, and just be given the law 2 days ago.
He's left with a lot of questions, like when the
They loading
72-hour
guns.
countdown actually begins.
An agreement can be a handshake. It can be a call on the phone. It can be an email. It can be anything.
The guidance only recommends how sellers keep a record of that, but it's not expressly stated in the law. Reed feels this is all really just a way to target gun shows.
I want to work with the politicians. I want my community to be safer. I want to work with you. But when things like this happen, it makes you mad.
We can see.
Yeah, he's mad. He wants to do something so bad. But it's interesting because I played a couple videos where he's a business. He's still trying to get a sale. He might have somebody who come in there and, just like you said, with a handshake agreement. Some loony bin who should not have a gun, period. But if I walked in there, I would go through all type of hell just to get one. But you know who wouldn't have a problem? That loony. The one who actually commits that mass.
What has worked in other states to reduce gun violence.
Proponents argue this move will save lives that might otherwise be lost to homicides or suicides.
If you can separate somebody by 72 hours from that thought, then that gives them the chance to get the help that they need.
But Reed points out there are other ways people could harm themselves, and many of his customers, like one who stopped by today, already have access to guns.
He has a lot of firearms, okay? But I got to make him wait another 3 days.
The Sportsmen's Alliance of Maine and others plan on fighting this in court.
We're going to challenge this bill. But it's really even hard to challenge because it's so poorly written. It's so vague.
In the meantime, Reed has their process.
So much. And I'm seeing so many with one on
the irrigation season almost at an end. The Middle Rio Grande Conservancy District says that conditions in the Rio Grande are doing better than last year, but there is still concerns of low water levels.
I'm tripping about the water because the water's been all over the place. And so now they're making, you got to pay attention to some of the patterns that try to be displayed. You know, you had stuff with the Paris Olympics and a couple of other countries as well. So the fact that it's coming here, you got to understand a lot of these other places be like test cities
for the remainder
and test spots
of the season. News 13's Gabe Chavez has the latest update.
And so MRGCD anticipates at the current rate to be out of its stored water by mid to late August, so in the next couple of weeks.
It's a concern every year for the Middle Rio Grande Conservancy District.
So we're in that time of year where all that
No. You guys are being dried out and watered out and burnt out and blown out from off of the land. There's a lot going on everywhere. I can show you a whole map.
From the first group of students heading back to school here in Hampton Roads. And you may need extra hand sanitizer and disinfecting wipes in those backpacks. And that's because the CDC says summer COVID cases are on the rise again. 10 on your side's Maria Bray joins us.
Be mindful of these games, the trickery they try to enforce, and they always use the kids. The kids are always the bait, the heartstrings, the intimidation, everything. Kids, you got to understand you've been weaponized. Everybody's been weaponized. Black women's weaponized. Everybody's weaponized to some stupid degree.
In studio with more. Maria.
Hey, Lauren, well, the CDC is monitoring COVID wastewater levels, and the data shows summer COVID levels could pass the past 2 years, or 2 summers rather. And Virginia, North Carolina's levels is considered very high. Now, a total of at least 26 states are either high or.
Hopefully none of you guys got the Jabberwocky. Any of these alphabets in any of the nonsense they try to put out there. You got to be mindful. You got to be super mindful.
Taking new steps to protect the brain health of troops. All new military recruits will undergo cognitive testing to create baselines that will make it easier to diagnose brain trauma later on in their career. It comes 9 months after a mass shooting in Maine involving an Army reservist who killed 18 people. A study of
See how that come full circle? She talking about Maine, and in Maine, I've seen so many things coming out of that whole East Coast region. You know, he was desperate to sell a gun. He sold a gun to an Army guy who lost it and shot up 18 people. 18 people. 1 8 equals 9.
his brain found that it was likely he previously suffered a traumatic brain injury. Right now, the military only gives baseline cognitive testing to troops before they deploy.
So you get treatment after the fact. The most interesting mustache. There's like no emphasis on trying to deal with this face. My bad, I didn't even click on it. But yeah, these people are angry, doing all of the most craziest stuff. This is in Tampa.
Return to class this morning. The district is facing significant challenges.
Certainly is, and there's excitement for the first day for families, but it's also tempered by a critical shortage of bus drivers and teachers, impacting many students as well as families. 10 Tampa Bay's Nick Valturo joining us live in Tampa with more on how the district plans on.
You see how bad each infrastructure has just been poorly planned and no coordination. Everybody's just been gone. Like nobody was doing their job to be prepared. Nobody. Everybody was gone. Everybody was on vacation, drunk at some river. See, none of the schools are getting built up now. A lot of them are for sale. A lot of these kids ain't even going to school. A lot of them are just on TikTok. You know? It's just an interesting way of life going on right now. You're seeing so many.
Dealing with these obstacles. Good morning, Nick.
Yeah, Jameson, Caitlin, good morning. And as we are here at the first day of school, there are some obstacles to deal with, like a shortage of bus drivers and
my brothers and sisters is that our parents, your kids are only as smart as your ass is. Jim.
a shortage of teachers. But right now, the preseason's over. We're getting ready for kickoff of the school year. And who better to ask about these situations than Van Ayers, the superintendent. We do have a shortage of teachers right now, about 500. We have about 120 bus driver vacancies. What are we doing to try to fill those as the school year starts?
Yeah, we're in a great spot. In a much better spot than we were last year. So we're in a good position. We're so excited about this first day of school. This is the best day of the year right here. A lot of traffic out on the road this morning. Our buses are out. We transport over 78,000 students. So expect a lot more traffic out on the road, but just want everyone to be safe this morning. It's a great day. This is a great day. We're excited, Hillsborough County Public Schools, to get this thing kicked off.
You know, and that's it. The kickoff is here, right? And there are some different measures that you guys are taking.
All the fake smiles mask the panic, the worry, the concern to not be able to fulfill and keep this ecosystem in place and intact.
taken. I know there is some different things, of course, going on with the millage referendum, just to try to get teachers more pay. I mean, we've seen a lot in the neighboring counties. You've been an advocate for that forever. So how important is that really for you, just to be able to get these teachers more funding and be able to support staff and the teachers here at the school?
Well, that's what it's about. It's providing the best classroom experience possible for our students. We'll do so today. We just want to continue to get better. But our goal, me as superintendent, our school board, provide that best classroom experience possible for all of our students. Again, ready to kick this thing off today, ready to go. We're going for a great day today.
Now, do you?
Schools around the country, around the world, messed up by not having any strong black men. Strong black women, some strong black women in there, but not the balance and the ratio is completely off. Should have probably been 2-to-1 ratio of black male teachers in these schools. Hell, there should be 3-to-1, 5-to-1. You want to change the school system? Yeah. Put it in the hands of the people who can get it done. Black men have always got it done. And black women have been right there with us, getting it done with it. And we love y'all. Because y'all hold it down when sometimes a lot of us brothers can't hold it down and then lost their way, got distracted, and not being able to be there to provide and protect makes a lot of people fragile and shallow and vulnerable and frail because the trauma behind the veil presents itself, and a lot of times, a lot of those imperfections get used as ammunition and we shoot at each other, figuratively and literally. Us as adults have to be more responsible and accountable and aware of the examples we create now. Because the kids are only as smart as they can be with the guidance to teach them. You got book smarts and you got street smarts. It's a lot of smarts you got to pick up. Just so much you got to do and do it right. And we got to stop failing at wanting to educate and train ourselves and get the skills necessary that are required. Almost every skill is mandatory. It's a mandatory to me. Like, you must know this, and that. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Ain't no being selective. Oh, I don't want to learn this, or I don't want to teach this. No, you must spread your wisdom, give your wisdom. You must share the experiences. All these people who are gatekeepers, who have all the opportunity in the world, and just people have just gotten so greedy, for one. The real currency is the energy, is the attention to be able to teach and pass down. That is the real gems. We were removed from this particular, very important part of our society where we were not included. We have to understand we have not been included in any of these. We've been drifting for a long time, and I need us to be able to get our direction back in order. My brothers, whether it's you reading every day, all day, working out all day, every day, learning skills all day, every day, this ain't the time to be playing around. Because these systems, as you can see, are really, truly failing your children if you have them involved in these systems. And the best way to protect that is to make yourself better, do better, so they can be better than you. We've left a really bad mess for these kids. And we're all in spiritual court. And every one of you and every one of us have all participated and took the bag. And, we have to be able to bounce back and do it the right way. Either you're going to double down or you're going to double back. You can also double down and double back. There's many options, but making no choice to change the things that we need to change in our life right now for the better of the ones to come. That's the problem that we need to stop. We got to get back to educating these kids the right way with the right information, teaching them the right things that they need to know, that they must know.
In Maryland are investigating a home explosion that killed 2 people and hurt several others.
Yeah, the explosion damaged several homes across several blocks, and 12 families are now without a home. It happened Sunday morning in Bel Air.
Yeah, I was on this yesterday. That was in my dream.
Big news on the Eastern Shore this morning. Some Verizon customers may have trouble dialing 911. Officials say an intermittent issue with Verizon's network equipment is causing the issue. Customers may also experience issues using a cell phone or landline during brief intermittent periods. If you can't reach 911, you can still contact the dispatch center directly at 757-387-95.
Well, for some of y'all can go straight to 988. No, I'm just saying.
Seen some of the worst flooding in its recent history. Torrential rainfall is causing flooding on streets and a sharp rise in river water levels. The National Weather Service says Oklahoma City got more than 6.5 inches of rain on Sunday, which is the most it's ever seen in one day in August. The flooding risk continues through today as storms slowly move out of the area.
It is ramping up.
Family in Smyrna after a home explosion there. We're learning an elderly couple were in the home when the home caught fire. Tony Sloan's live with what we know in this case this morning. And Tony, this is unbelievable.
Yeah, that's the best way to describe it, Ben, at this point. That elderly couple was just in their home enjoying their Sunday when that fire started. Now, you're looking at pictures showing the moment that home on St. Michael's Lane exploded into flames. And there's no official word yet on the cause, but neighbors are saying it may have had to do with a hot water tank explosion in the garage. It didn't take long for the home to be covered in flames. And firefighters, they had their work cut out for them to put it out. And they were able to keep the...
That was the almighty God. You don't know what these people did.
Fire from spreading to other homes. But as you can see, that home is a total loss. What's amazing here is that we're told the man was life-flighted with just a few burns, but he is in stable condition, and the woman is okay. Fire crews are continuing their investigation this morning to find out how this happened, but that family is just grateful that both of those who lived in that home survived.
Republican vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance is outlining the Trump campaign's proposal to tighten restrictions at the southern border.
On ABC's This Week, the Ohio senator defended his and former President Donald Trump's promise to conduct mass deportations for millions of undocumented immigrants if elected.
Well, the first thing you have to do is to stop the bleeding, stop the open border, get Kamala Harris out of there, and actually re-implement the Remain in Mexico policy, rebuild or finish Donald Trump's border wall.
So you go knock on doors and ask people for their papers?
Again, but
what do you do?
let me. I think this is the wrong attitude towards it. Right? There's 20 million people here illegally. You start with what's achievable. You do that. And then you go on to what's achievable from there.
The vice presidential candidate also walked back some.
He wants to be the Gestapo and go door to door he looks like a used vacuum salesman. He gonna sell you your vacuum back to you, but he want to come knock on your door to door, and point his finger like that, the king finger, and say, "Get out. Get out. You get out of you get off of my blessings and my privilege and my good and white supremacy." Yeah, buddy. He is definitely trying to make some little Trump mini-me's. Trumpini-me's. He's definitely trying his best to keep because he knows people play dumb, but he knows he must encourage and spark up the spirit of the other man, because they're no longer in the blessing. And if nobody was motivating them and sparking it up, it would have hit them so hard and so blindsided. I mean, it is because the Most High is in the midst. But the fact that now they get a chance to see it in a whole different way. All that fighting, all the extra that we was doing to try to make a way and we shall overcome. It was hard during Jacob's trouble. But now the fact that we are no longer in Jacob's trouble, we have to be the bull in the matador and Olay, get on out the way and let the Holy Spirit do her thing. Because I'm seeing so many of my brothers and sisters still involved in this whole scam and scheme that has not helped and benefit us, regardless of how much you have done. Being played and pimped. You cannot give these people your energy. Because they refuse to give you. So why do you give when they don't give? That doesn't make sense. You have to stop. You have to stop at this point now.
Supposed to see a Taylor Swift concert.
Oh, the Swift
has like a Taylor Swift shirt on. Yeah, everybody had them.
12-year-old Julia Brandes was supposed to return home with memories of an unforgettable night.
I was definitely disappointed because, I mean, Taylor Swift is once in a lifetime. She's one of the biggest stars on the planet right now. So.
Damn. Swifties. You have a lot of people messing up them gigs all around the world because the conversation is still reparations, and you're seeing the trickle down that, no, this ain't got nothing to do with us. But you're seeing the ramifications of a lot of what your forefathers have done ramp up in so many different sleeper cells from all around the world. and it's not our involvement, you know. But all of the gathering that you guys are doing is going to show that, you know, somebody is going to be at your events to disrupt them. You know, you guys can't have a good time no more. It's not, you know, none of us, you know. But I'm just saying that the trouble that we went through is now the trouble that you guys are going through. You may not see it, you may not want to accept it, but it is happening. And it's things like that, whether it's presidential events or even Taylor Swift. People are immersed in the distractions and the chaos instead of focusing on the actual aspects of life and need to heal. Even regardless, the younger generations don't know no better. You know, mind's off in the wrong directions. That's cool. You go and do what you do. But we ain't doing nothing like that. The work that needs to be done right now. Your kids don't even need to go into none of these concerts and, you know, being out right now. Whether it's at school or not, you need to be studying, getting your game up, getting your skills up to prevent whatever that you were going through.
Now, this is according to the arrest report. The Glencliff High School teacher was accused of disclosing details of his personal life to the student. The report also says the student told the teacher about their drug use and times they were sexually abused. Before being interviewed, police spoke with the principal and said they had multiple conversations with the teacher about setting boundaries between him and students. Police charged the educator with failing to report to law enforcement and contributing to the delinquency of a minor.
Yep. That's what's going on. That's what y'all got going on. That is what y'all got going on. And it is what it is, you know. Most High is protecting us in everything that we do and everywhere that we go. And because we're not the ones at these events or anything going on or in these communities, in these neighborhoods, you know, you can clearly see that it is not us. We're getting the finger pointed at us, but it's not us. It's not the ones. So I want y'all to just, you know, pay attention to what's going on around you. I try to give you, you know, whatever I can come across and help you guys out to see clear pictures of what's going on a macro and a micro scale. You know, just giving you a little tidbit of what I can drop and bring to you. A couple gems, I guess. You know, getting myself back involved. But I don't want people to stress out. You know, that's one thing I wasn't trying to do either for myself. You know, and it's better to see what's going on and get a greater picture and greater perspective on the stuff that's going on within yourself and the things that are around you. So I don't want people to be, you know, wilding out and getting aggressive and tripping and stuff like that. Keep working on your talents. Keep working on your gifts. This ain't the time to be wilding out and going out and doing stupid stuff and getting all caught up. You about to see the holiday season kick up and ramp up, and hey, you just got to be truly careful. You know, you know, don't go out and spending your money. Stay in. Do what you need to do. If you want to invest, you know, get some books in your life. Get the Big Levi book. And on that note, I'm out.